Welcome to our Degrees of Latitude Healthcare Professional Training Program. The Latitude NXT website offers you flexibility and control over how you receive, review, and manage Boston Scientific device and patient data. In this training module, you will learn more about managing patient groups in Latitude NXT. After viewing this video, you will better understand patient groups in Latitude NXT, adding patient groups, modifying patient groups, configuring patient groups, deleting patient groups. We'll start by covering the basics of patient groups in Latitude NXT. Once your clinic is set up in Latitude NXT, you can further organize your clinic and your patients by making use of our Patient Groups feature. The Patient Group feature lets you decide how to organize patients according to criteria that make sense for your practice. Clinics can be organized into one or more patient groups within the system. It is required that each clinic has at least one patient group, but the number of additional patient groups you create is limitless. All Latitude NXT patients must be assigned a primary patient group in order to be monitored on the system. During the patient enrollment process, you are required to assign each patient to a primary patient group with the option to assign a patient to a secondary patient group. Individual patients can be associated with up to 2 different clinics or 2 different patient groups within one clinic. If you want to rearrange patients between patient groups within your clinic, you can do so at any time. Access to patient data is provided to clinic users authorized by the clinic or clinics that have enrolled the patient. Clinic users are assigned to patient groups. Users assigned to a patient group have access to all patients enrolled in that specific patient group. Clinic account managers, or CAMs, on the other hand, have access to all patients in every patient group within his or her clinic. Only users with CAM privileges can add, modify, or delete patient groups. Frequently, we see patient group configurations where the primary patient group is responsible for managing the patient's device, while the secondary patient group is responsible for monitoring the patient's condition. In this scenario, the clinic associated with the primary patient group is typically responsible for monitoring a patient's device, including regularly scheduled device follow-ups and managing any red alerts detected during device interrogations. Additionally, the primary clinic may be responsible for managing yellow alerts, depending on whether or not those alerts have been configured. The secondary patient group monitors the patient's condition. Unlike the primary patient group, this team will not be notified of red alerts and will not see any follow-up or alert history associated with the primary patient group. The secondary patient group can configure their own scheduled remote follow-ups, yellow alerts, and alert notifications as guided by the type of care they are providing that patient. Now we'll show you how to add patient groups in Latitude NXT. Once you've logged into the Latitude NXT site, hover over Manage Clinic and click on Manage Clinic Settings. From the Manage Clinic Settings page, simply click on the Add Patient Group. On the Add Patient Group page, you are required to enter a name for the new patient group. Entering a description for the patient group is optional. When you're ready, click Add Patient Group. Adding a patient group automatically assigns all CAMs to that new patient group. Take a moment to determine the clinic users that you want accessing the information and patients in this new patient group. You've completed the process and your newly added patient group now appears on your Manage Clinic Settings page. Now we'll show you how to modify patient groups in Latitude NXT. Once you're logged into the Latitude NXT site, hover over Manage Clinic and click on Manage Clinic Settings. On the Manage Clinic Settings page, you'll see all of your clinic's patient groups. From here, click on Edit View Demographics and User Membership for the group you want to modify. Confirm that you're on the appropriate patient group page. If you are, go ahead and make your desired modifications. For the purposes of this video, on screen we're demonstrating how to change the group name, add a description, and change user access to the patient group. Once you've completed all of your desired changes, click Save and Close. Changes to the group name and description will now appear on your Manage Clinic Settings page. Next, we'll show you how to configure your patient groups. Simply hover over Manage Clinic and click on Manage Clinic Settings. From here, click on Edit View Schedule and Alert Defaults. Before we proceed, it's important to note a couple of key differences between automatic and manual scheduling. For automatic scheduling, the next follow-up is automatically scheduled by using the information you set, the configured interval or frequency, and the day of the week. For manual scheduling, you pick a new follow-up date each time the previous one has been completed. As you scroll down the page, you can make schedule changes. You can select your preference for patient-initiated interrogations, or PIIs, for the patient group. Make sure the checkbox is selected for each of the alerts you want to be notified about for all patients in this group. As you're configuring alerts, consider the additional alert notification options available to you through Latitude NXT. For more information on setting any of these features, please see the videos on scheduling and alert configuration. Now we'll show you how to delete patient groups in Latitude NXT. It's important to note that you will only be able to delete a patient group if there are no patients enrolled in that specific group. If you still have patients enrolled in a group, you will either need to reassign those patients to different patient groups, or you'll need to unenroll them from Latitude NXT before proceeding. Hover over Manage Clinic and click on Manage Clinic Settings. From the Manage Clinic Settings page, click on Edit View Demographics and User Membership for the group you want to delete from the system. Confirm that you're on the appropriate patient group page. If you are, click Remove Patient Group. A pop-up box will appear confirming that you want to delete this patient group. If you're ready to proceed with the process, click OK. You're done. Once you've completed this process, the patient group you removed is no longer listed on your Manage Clinic Settings page. Congratulations! You successfully completed the Degrees of Latitude module on managing patient groups in Latitude NXT. If you still have questions about managing patient groups after viewing this segment, please refer to the other tools available to you on our website, or call our Latitude customer support team at 1-800-227-3422. Continue checking our YouTube channel at latitudенxt.com/YouTube for additional Degrees of Latitude training modules.